Welcome back to NeuralWire News. A major political controversy is growing in the United States tonight after President Donald Trump removed the remaining members of the Election Assistance Commission. The move has triggered a serious fight in Washington because this agency plays an important role in helping states run secure, fair, and reliable elections. And with the 2026 midterm elections getting closer, many Americans are now asking one big question. Could this decision affect how elections are managed across the country? The Election Assistance Commission, also known as the EAC, is a bipartisan federal agency. It does not run elections directly. In the United States, elections are mainly managed by individual states and local officials. But the EAC helps states by providing guidance, funding support, election security resources, voting system standards, and training. It was created after the disputed 2000 presidential election, when the country faced major problems with voting machines, ballot counting, and election administration. Its purpose was simple: help make elections more secure and more trusted. Now, the removal of its remaining members has created a new political battle. Democratic leaders say the move could weaken independent oversight of the election system. They argue that removing bipartisan officials just months before the midterm elections raises serious concerns about political influence. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has strongly criticized the decision and says Democrats will fight it. Republicans and Trump supporters, however, argue that election systems need stronger reforms. They say the country needs tougher rules, more voter verification, and better protections against fraud. But critics point out that widespread voter fraud has not been proven in recent national elections. This is why the story is becoming so important. It is not only about one federal agency. It is about trust in American elections. The United States is heading toward the 2026 midterm elections, where control of Congress will be at stake. Voters will decide key races for the House of Representatives, the Senate, governor's offices, and state legislatures. And these elections could shape the final 2 years of President Trump's term. If Republicans keep control of Congress, the administration could have more power to push major policies. But if Democrats gain seats, they could block legislation, launch investigations, and create a much tougher political environment for the White House. That is why election rules are now becoming one of the biggest political issues in America. Supporters of stricter voting laws say Americans need confidence that only eligible citizens are voting. They support voter ID requirements, tighter rules for mail-in ballots, and stronger checks on voter registration. But opponents say some of these rules could make voting harder for older people, students, low-income voters, military families, and people living in rural areas. The debate has become deeply divided. One side says election security is the top priority. The other side says voting access and independent oversight must be protected. And both sides say democracy itself is at risk. State election officials are now trying to reassure voters. Many states say they are prepared to run the 2026 elections regardless of changes in Washington. But experts warn that federal support can still matter, especially for cybersecurity, voting machine testing, and protection against foreign interference. America's election system is not controlled by one person or one agency. It is a huge network of state governments, county officials, election workers, courts, and federal agencies. That makes it difficult for any single group to take full control. But it also means confusion at the federal level can create more pressure on local officials. The controversy comes at a time when public trust in elections is already deeply divided. Millions of Americans still disagree over how secure past elections were. Social media has also made the situation more complicated. False claims can spread quickly, especially during major campaigns. Election officials are now preparing not only for voting day, but also for misinformation, cyber threats, legal challenges, and possible protests. The next few months will be extremely important. Watch for legal challenges over the commission firings. Watch for new voting laws in different states. And watch for how both political parties use election security as a major campaign issue. For everyday Americans, the biggest message is simple. The 2026 midterms may become one of the most closely watched elections in recent U.S. history. And the fight over who manages elections, how votes are counted, and which rules are used is already beginning. This is NeuralWire News. Subscribe for clear and fast updates on the biggest stories shaping America. Thanks for watching.